I will be discussing three topics under instructional materials, which are purposes of IMs, guidelines of using IMs, and selection of IMs. What are instructional materials? These include printed materials and multimedia materials and every instrument used in the classroom. These are the tools used in educational lessons, which includes active learning and assessment. Basically, any resources a teacher uses to help him teach his students is an instructional material. It is important because they can significantly increase student achievement by supporting student learning. This process aids in the learning process by allowing the students to explore the knowledge independently as well as providing repetition. These are the various forms of IMs. We have the print, and under print are textbooks, pamphlets, study guides, and manuals. We also have audio, cassettes, microphones, podcasts. Next, we have visual, charts, realia or real objects, and photographs. Then we have audiovisual. We have slide tapes, films, film strips, television, video, and other multimedia. And of course, we have the electronic interactive, which includes computers, graphing calculators, and even tablets. What's the purpose of all those instructional materials? The purpose of IMs is to improve students' knowledge, abilities, and skills to monitor their assimilation of information and to contribute their overall development and upbringing. Learning is best when we have ways to reinforce what we learn. It can be repetition, body movement, notes, etc. But ideally, we want students to remember, integrate, and apply what they learn. Thousands of years ago, before there were efficient ways to take notes, students listened and memorized by turning what they learned into a song or poems, or they might go through a series of questions to reinforce what they heard. But today, we have lots of approaches to helping students remember, integrate, and apply what they learn. This is the value of instructional materials. And the more you can engage students in using materials, the better the experience. We don't just select IMs based on its availability or because we just want to use it. We have to follow a set of criteria and guidelines before using any of the instructional materials. The first guideline: IMs should support the educational philosophy, goals, and objectives of the district and the objectives of the curricular offering in which the materials will be used. We select IMs that is aligned with our set goals and objectives for the learners or the students as well as the curriculum implemented in each school. Second guideline: instructional materials should be appropriate for the age, emotional and social development, and ability level of the students for whom the materials are selected. IM simplicity and complexity should level the students' ability to grasp things in terms of their age, emotional, social conditions. Imagine giving elementary students lesson in mathematics that should be taught in high school. Of course, they won't be able to answer that because it is not aligned with their capacity of learning. Third, IM should be diverse with respect to levels of difficulty, reader appeal, and should present a variety of points of view. So, students learn at different paces, so teachers must consider the way we select our IMs that will truly match their way of learning. Fourth, IM should meet high standards of quality in factual content and presentation. IMs must be current, valid, and reliable with real-world of examples. Fifth, IM should foster respect for men, women, the disabled, minority groups, and should portray a variety of roles and lifestyles open to people in today's world. It should foster respect for cultural diversity. I think the most important factor why we are teaching students is to develop a sense of respect with all the diversity that our world has, be it gender, race, language, culture, and more. We must teach them to treat everyone with respect so that we can build a society where no judgments and prejudice could foster. Sixth, IM should be designed to motivate students to examine their own attitudes and behaviors and to comprehend their own duties, responsibilities, rights, and privileges as participating citizens in pluralistic society. Through a thorough selection of IMs, we can help students know what are the roles they need to portray in society, how can they exercise their rights and privileges without stepping on other people. 7. IM should encourage students to utilize higher-order thinking skills and to become informed decision makers, to exercise freedom of thought and to make independent judgments through examination and evaluation of relevant information, evidence, and differing viewpoints. This is one of the greatest purposes of IMs. It drives students to become critical thinkers, to think outside of the box and create unbiased judgments based on facts. It will help them to be decisive and independent thinkers. 8th, and the last one, IM should be selected into taking account instructional materials already available in order to meet the above criteria and in order to replace materials worn, obsolete, or no longer appropriate. Professional staff shall provide for constant and continuing renewal of the collection, not only by the addition of the up-to-date material, but by the judicious elimination of materials which no longer meet needs or find use. The process of selecting IMs are not quite easy, but we must all take into consideration all the aforementioned criteria for us to examine what IMs need to be replaced, which are already outdated, do the present materials meet the needs of the learners, and so on, because the educational world is also updating rapidly, so constant examination of our tool is a must. We have reached the last portion of the presentation. So, in a nutshell, teaching is really a total package. It is true that a teacher is the best instructional material because he is the one who manages the classroom. And as the saying goes, teacher, you are the captain of your mind and the master of your soul. This ends my presentation. Thank you for listening and watching.